Post-match chat is live. My God, Pakistan make cricket entertaining. I mean, there was no right for the game that we just watched, the fourth IT20 between South Africa and Pakistan, to go down to the wire. Pakistan had it in the bag. They restricted South Africa very nicely, a target of 145. They were going along nicely, 9 overs into their reply. They were 92 for one and looking like they were cruising. And somehow this game went to the second last delivery due to that trademark Pakistani collapse. But they held off and won the match by 3 wickets and won the series as well. 3-1 against South Africa, which, by the way, means my prediction was bang on. To talk about this, as always, I'm Atif Nawaz, and we're going to break it down. By we, I mean me, Atif Nawaz, Anam Nadeem, Arman Kirmani, and Arif Asif. Guys, what a cracking game it turned out to be. Let's get straight into it. Let's go to Anam first. Anam, what was your favorite? I know there's gonna be loads of shouts for least favorite later, but let's talk about favorite first. What was your favorite performance of that match?
अच्छा एज अ पाकिस्तानी फैन तो मगाला की दो नो बॉल्स मेरी फेवरेट परफॉर्मेंस थी इफ आई हैव टू जोक अबाउट इट और फिर आज अब्बास ने भी क्या कमाल धमाल मचाए हुए थे तबाहियां मचाई हुई थी 6 विकेटें ले ली तो अगर पाकिस्तानी फेवरेट परफॉर्मेंस की बात करनी है फिर तो डेफिनेटली वही होने वाली है पर मैच से रिलेटेड बात करनी है तो आई थिंक फहीम अशरफ का स्पेल जो था फॉर श्योर लाइक वी कैन नॉट इग्नोर फहीम अशरफ स्पेल आज जिस तरह की आके उसने कंट्रोल दिया रन रोके विकेट्स भी ले ली कितना 3 विकेटें थी 17 रन 14 रन कितने थे let me check.
Yes, it was 3 overs. Sorry,
17 runs. Yeah,
yes.
17 runs, 4 overs and 3 wickets. So yeah, Fahim Ashraf was brilliant today. अगर batting भी आज थोड़ी कर लेता तो और अच्छा हो जाता. But I think it was brilliant. Considering कि हम लोगों ने last match में 200 खाए थे और आज वाले match में we brought it back, which I think नहीं करना चाहिए था 200 ही पड़ते तो बेहतर था. But चलो.
Waqi, like it was a very good performance from Fahim. He got that crucial wicket of Janeman Malan. He was looking so good. He was going at like a fantastic rate, and he could have really powered that total, like you say, Anam. 200 to aaram se ho sakte the. But he held them back, and he got the 3 wickets and kept bowling that really good hard length and well backed up in the field as well. So a good pick there, Fahim Ashraf. Arman, welcome back, buddy. What was your favorite performance of the match?
Yeah, I know someone's going to say Fakhr, and they should. And if they don't, then I think that we're missing a trick. But I'm not going to say him just because I want to talk about somebody who never seems to get a lot of mention, and that's Haris Rauf. He is somebody who's just quite consistent, doesn't concede a lot of runs, always gets breakthroughs, was dropped for a couple of games in this series. They were trying out different combinations, rested or dropped, however you want to look at it. But I was very impressed. Shaheen bowled well today. The comeback, he was taking a little bit of tap. He bowled very economically. Haris Rauf bowled very economically. Fahim Ashraf bowled very economically. And I think that was really the foundation that was set for Pakistan to chase the low totals. So I'm going to go for Haris Rauf. I could have gone for any of the other three already. And I'm obviously taking Fahim Ashraf and that left Shaheen Shah Afridi. So I went for Haris Rauf just because he never seems to get the credit that's due. He is one of our best T20 specialist players. And, we might see him in other formats now as well.
Yeah, great effort from Haris. Good job there. 2 for 18, 3.3 overs. Great economy, 5.14 as well. Didn't get hit for any sixes, so well done to him. Arif, what was your favorite? What was your favorite performance of the match?
I think for me, the favorite performance today has to be Fahim Ashraf. I think he sort of changed the innings. For South Africa, when he was saying we were looking at a really high score, everyone was getting battered. Even Hassan Ali in his first 2 overs was getting hit for quite a bit. And Fahim Ashraf came in, didn't concede many, and he got some key wickets there. And I think the third wicket he got, where it pitched and it slightly moved away, I think for a T20 game, everybody was taking wickets with catches on the boundary. I think that was a brilliant bowling performance from Fahim for Pakistan.
Yeah, it most certainly was. He did a great job. And as Anam said, you guys have both picked him. And, obviously, as Arman said, Fakhr is the obvious choice. But I can't give him... It wasn't my favorite performance because I needed a little bit more from him. It actually... And we know Pakistan's batting order is a bit top-heavy. Actually I will talk about Fakhr's innings a little bit later in the match, in the show actually today. But my favorite performance of the match is actually Shaheen Shah Afridi. Again, he's been taking a bit of tap, as Rahman said, in this series, right? But it was a good comeback from him. He got the 1 wicket, 4 overs, 1 for 19. But crucially, no sixes off him today. I was getting sick of seeing Shaheen get hit for a six. This is our main strike bowler. Even on a small ground, he shouldn't get hit for sixes, and he wasn't hit for any sixes today. In fact, he bowled 14 dot balls. So that was very good to see from Shaheen, back in some kind of touch. Hopefully a couple of weeks off and maybe back in Zimbabwe. We'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. Now then, we're spoiled for choice on this one. Anam Nadeem, what was your least favorite performance of today's match?
फेवरेट भी थी, फिर लीस्ट फेवरेट भी बन गई. आई थिंक मगाला ने पहले मैच बनाया साउथ अफ्रीका के लिए, और उसके बाद पेनल्टीमेट ओवर में आई थिंक उसके ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी कि मैच आखिरी ओवर के लिए थोड़े रन्स बचा लेता. 6 ऑफ 6 वाज वेरी इजी. अगर देखा जाए नॉर्मल कंडीशंस में, नॉट एज अ पाकिस्तानी फैन इट्स नॉट इजी, बट किसी भी और सेंस में आप देखते तो 6 ऑफ 6 इज रियली इजी. तो आई थिंक मगाला को खुद को ब्लेम करने की यहाँ पे जरूरत है. वो 2 नो बॉल बिल्कुल अननेसेसरी थी. पहली पे बचत होगी कि फ्री हिट पे हसन कुडंट कनेक्ट, दूसरी पे नवाज वाज एबल टू कनेक्ट इट फॉर अ 6. सो आई थिंक वो लीस्ट फेवरेट परफॉर्मेंस थी इन टर्म्स ऑफ साउथ अफ्रीका बीइंग एबल टू होल्ड बैक पाकिस्तान द वे दे डिड. वो वहां से आई थिंक स्लिप हो गया उनसे.
Yeah, that's a good point, Magala. Again, very inexperienced player coming in, like South Africa properly depleted with some of their best players over in India in the IPL. Arman, what was your least favorite performance?
Sorry, guys. Babar Azam, not happy with the leadership. I mean, I just want to say something. When we are preparing for this show, we don't know what the result's going to be. So I'm thoda sochte hain ki aaj kya bolenge. And we were from 92 for 1. We were like 2 balls away from potentially coming here and talking about a 2-2 series, which we should have cruised and won. And then I was really thinking, like who's responsible for this? Who do I talk to about this? Like, ye kya hua hamare sath? Like, we cannot be drawing the series and throwing it away. And the only thing that I could think of consistently over and over again is that we're lacking leadership. So I'll elaborate on that later, and I'm sure we'll have a wider discussion. But for me, Babar Azam, I really felt like, you know what, we needed strong leadership in a final game of a series when we're going for a clincher. And unfortunately, we didn't see it. We stumbled and got over the line. And I'm really glad that we did. And it's great that Babar has led us to, serious victories, which I have to add, in Pakistan against South Africa, now away. But if we're going for that World Cup, like with this team, which is so talented, we need a strong leader. And I feel tactically we're missing a lot of tricks. So yeah, we'll elaborate on it later. But that was my least favorite performance.
So yeah, I mean, I've got a similar one to you. It's not Babar. I'm not singling him out specifically, but I'm singling out Fakhr. I just feel he had to go on. The responsibility you're carrying. You've got Asif Ali and Heather, and they would be very easy for me to call them my least favorite performances, because Asif and Heather have just been, let's call it what it is, they flopped. Okay, they went out to South Africa and they both flopped. Okay, now selection didn't help them, management didn't help them in the way that they kind of lopsided the way they picked them, and they didn't get to play in the previous game. But this is what's going to happen sometimes when you play 4 and 5 and you're playing under Fakhr and Rizwan and Babar and Hafiz, right? You're not always gonna get in with 5 overs into the innings. But Fakhr was there. He knows that those two are vulnerable. What was the shot, man? He kind of triggered this complete collapse. Now, agree, Babar's shot wasn't much better, and you can split hairs about who was the least favorite between them. You're going on a captaincy angle. I'm going more just on a shot selection angle in that particular moment. It was annoying for me. It just irritated me that he did that, because I know what he's capable of, and what a great opportunity this was for him, coming back from the leg allergy, very serious leg allergy. So, it was his opportunity to get something going. Anyway, sorry, Arif, I almost forgot about you, buddy. Tell me, what was your least favorite performance of today's match?
I think for me, with the South African team, Magala, when his first over went for about 17, and I thought South Africa were doing decently well till then. And even at the end, when South Africa had a bit of pressure on, Magala just came in and kind of conceded a few more. And another one of the South African players, which disappointed me today, was George Linde. As you probably all realised, I've got a bit of a soft spot for him. I like a hard-hitting batsman and someone who can bowl decent slow left arm. So he was a little disappointing with the bat today. But if you look for the Pakistani performances, I kind of disagree with your angle, Atif, a little. I think Yes, the selection and the sort of team management and whatever else didn't help Asif Ali and Heather Ali during this tour. However, today was a perfect moment for both of them. Yes, I agree with you. Fakhar should have been a bit more mature and sort of played till the end. However, he left an opportunity for the other two to really impress here. This was their sort of chance. They should have grabbed this by both hands. And I think Ramiz Raja mentioned it in the commentary as well, that Pakistan needs someone who can start from ball one. And these two are our two players which are picked to the positions where we need them to start from ball one. And if it was any other number 5 and 6 in any other world team, we wouldn't be having this discussion at this moment in time. So yes, the management and everything else hasn't really helped them. However, I think today was an opportunity for both of them, and they just, if one of them had performed today, they would have cemented their place for the next few series. And you know what? There's some serious question marks over them too now.
Absolutely. Listen, Arif, here's the crazy thing. They didn't even need to go from ball one. They could have taken their time. They could have played at an 80 strike rate, and they would have still got Pakistan home comfortably. There was no need. They put this needless pressure on themselves to go at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and over. It was completely needless. Now, obviously, towards the end, by the time the equation is getting to 26 of 20, that's different. But that didn't happen until way later, after that 30-ball gap between boundaries. So I just think, they put, I don't know what's going through their minds right now. Maybe they need a psychiatrist more than a coach, because, they seem like they're all messed up in the mind. But anyway, we'll get into that a little bit. Anam, you wanted to say something about that?
Yeah, I just needed to add one more point यहाँ पे. हफीज की बात नहीं की हमने. हफीज के ऊपर भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी. 36 चाहिए थे 42 बॉल्स पे, एंड हफीज just gave his wicket away. Unnecessary shot आप हवा में लगा रहे हो जिसकी जरूरत नहीं है. You being the senior most pro, to be fair enough. तो उसके ऊपर हफीज के ऊपर भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. एंड आई थिंक यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट. यहाँ पे साइकियाट्रिस्ट वाला जो थोड़ा सा है ना, साइकोलॉजिकली मुझे लगता है कि हम लोग की वो जो एक ब्लॉकेज आ जाती है जब आपको पता है कि यार स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड सिचुएशन है, तो आप क्यों उसके ऊपर, व्हाई डू यू सो इजीली जस्ट क्रम्बल अंडर प्रेशर? लाइक फॉर वंस आपको प्रेशर के अंदर अपने आप को दिखाना है कि यार प्रेशर है, बट वी कैन डिलीवर इन प्रेशर, अंडर प्रेशर एज वेल. सो दिस इज अ लिटिल, ये थोड़ा डाइसी है मेरे लिए भी कि ऐसे क्यों करते हैं लोग.
I get that. Arman, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm observing this whole thing in context. ठीक है, तो मैं थोड़ा सा ये आपको रिमाइंड करूंगा कि फखर has been brought into this squad at the last minute. Sharjeel was originally in this squad. ठीक है ना? अब Sharjeel, out of 4 games they took him to South Africa, he played 1, and that's because of a leg allergy. So he might not have played any of the games if we didn't have this leg allergy or whatever it was. ठीक है ना? सबसे पहली बात ये. But इन लोगों को squad में लाके जो pressure build हो रहा है ना, Rizwan has now been out twice hitting. In the first 2 or 3 balls that he's played. In the first game, he was out straight away. And again, today we saw him getting stumped where he was unnecessarily attacking. We've seen the pressure on Babar to try and attack, and he had to when they had 200. So the batting order is a massive problem, because if you've got Fakhar, if you've got Sharjeel, wo automatically pressure a build ho raha hai within the team that everyone needs to go and hit sixes and have a high strike rate. Because even when Babar gets a 50, there's so much criticism if he's only going at 100. And you can see the impacts of what the pressure is being, you can see the impacts of the pressure of Sharjeel and Fakhar being brought into the squad, and it's going through the team in my opinion, because as we've already pointed out, they needed 36 or 42 or whatever it was, like 5 and over. Usme Haider Ali got caught on the boundary, Hafiz got caught skying one, Babar got caught skying one, Asif Ali mishit a shot trying to play attacking. When it was a game, when you need 5 and over or 6 and over, it's a single and doubles game. So it's not for me. I don't want to like get away with this. Oh, psychologically, but a weekend. No. Please. Some of these guys have been playing cricket, international cricket, for 19 years. It's not that they're psychologically weak. It's because they don't have the right direction or the right leadership to try and guide them as how they should be playing in different circumstances. That's why I blame the captaincy and the management. So yeah, sorry I went on a bit, but that's my viewpoint.
That's a completely fair point, Arman. Like you're bang on in the sense that the team, they lack a little bit of direction. They lack a rudder, particularly in these challenging scenarios. So it feels like they've got their plan B, and they might even have a plan B, but a plan C, but they don't have a plan D and a plan E and a plan F. They don't really know what to do when the scenario goes against them. They've talked about playing aggressively. What was the thing, the catchphrase at the start of the series? We're going to play fearless cricket. We're going to play fearless cricket, aggressive cricket. And the thing is, that's fine, but you're chasing 145. You don't need to start skying the ball every ball. I think you're right. There is a lot of, management kya kahegi, ye strategy thi, piche se ye message aaya tha, is tarah khelna hai. I feel like there's a bit of that going on, and we're not getting the most out of our players. But anyway, listen, before we digress, let's go into moments of the match. Let me go to Arif first, actually. Arif, what was your moment of the match?
I think for me, at the moment of the match, well, it wasn't just one particular moment. It was right at the end when Hassan Ali came in, and you know what? The first thought that went into my head was, considering Hassan Ali's sort of performances over the last few games, was yeah, no problem, two balls, and this will be finished. But then one of the commentators mentioned that don't give him that full ball, and this should have worked him out by now. And you know what? Seeing the South African bowlers in a position where they're about to lose the game, but still sort of enforce a bit of a plan that they had in mind for Hassan Ali, was, for me, was this is why international cricket is where it is at the moment, because of these statisticians and all these guys who were literally, Hassan Ali didn't know what he was doing in the last few. It looked like a total different player, and all it was the South Africans had worked him out. Yeah, 4 games too late, but it was a pleasure to see that some management and a bit of direction. If the game was in a total different situation, how vital that could have been. So for me, that was definitely one of the moments of the match.
Yeah, I mean, had they been batting first, for example, Pakistan, then it would be a completely different scenario for the match, wouldn't it? They've already worked on their matchups. You got to give it up to their analysts, and this is what you get for having an analyst in your...
I think that kind of goes back to what Arman was saying, that Pakistan they never seem to have that sort of direction or a plan, which other teams do. And that's why I wanted to highlight that one of my moments of the match, definitely seeing them 4 or 5 balls to Hassan Ali.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know if they've got an analyst, but they need a new one if they don't already. And listen, before we all go into Sisanda Magala, by the way, he's only playing, I know he's 30 years old, but everybody's talked about him today. He's only playing his 3rd T20 international today. This was his 3rd T20 international. So he's a little bit inexperienced. And I mean, he knows the scenario as well. He's come in because the best aren't available. So they have to have reasonable expectations for him. I think within the circumstances, he didn't do too badly. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of Sisanda Magala. But anyway, Anam Nadeem, what was your moment of the match?
मार्करम जो है आज वो 11 स्कोर पे आउट हो गया. आई थिंक वो टर्निंग पॉइंट था. नवाज हैड अ वेरी ऑफ डे, 40 रन पड़े, लेकिन वो इंपॉर्टेंट विकेट थी बहुत ज्यादा. मार्करम हैड ऑलरेडी हिट लाइक 350s पिछले 3 मैचेस में, कंसेक्यूटिव 350s, और आज भी वो लग रहा था कि भाई फॉर्म में है. पहले चौका छक्का मार दिया था उसने नवाज को. सो आई थिंक दैट वाज अ वेरी लकी ब्रेक पाकिस्तान के लिए कि वो मार्करम को जल्दी उन्होंने आउट कर लिया. और साउथ अफ्रीका के पास जो एज था पिछले मैचेस में कि ओपनिंग पार्टनरशिप लगती है और फिर उनके पास एक पूरा प्लेटफॉर्म होता है, आज वो मिसिंग था.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that completely. Arman, moment of the match?
I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like when I listen to Ramiz Raja doing commentary in a 3 or a 6 hour game, if it's audio, I feel like I just watch a totally different game. And like this series, I've been watching Hassan Ali, and I've been seeing him across the last 3-4 series, and obviously the Qaid Azam performance. And he comes in today, and Ramiz Raja says, "Oh, Pakistan in big trouble, because let's not forget Hassan Ali is as big a tailender as they come." And I'm just thinking, are you joking?
No. Arman, he said that after 4 balls. He didn't say that as he came in.
Yeah, but okay.
He said we've got to remember that he is a tailender in the end.
No, and he emphasized that basically he said it in a way which was making Hassan Ali out to be one of like a traditional tail-ending batsman. And I've just got to say, with all due respect to Ramiz Raja and the wonderful career he's had as a commentator, like that's not right. Like Hassan, there needs to be respect given to Hassan. We're talking about him on the show as being a potential pinch hitter going up the order because he scores 40% of his runs in 6s. Like for me, when the collapse was happening, the one person I thought, nahi yaar, hum haar hi nahi sakte because Hassan Ali is still there and kuch bhi nahi hota to wo banda to chhukke maar sakta hai. So like, you know what, even if it comes down to the last over, I don't know about you guys, but that was in the back of my head when I saw Asif Ali go, when I saw Fahim Ashraf go, when I saw Nawaz go. In my heart of hearts, not Nawaz go, sorry, he was still there. But in my heart of hearts, if Nawaz was to go, I still thought Hassan Ali was the guy. So my moment of the day was listening to Ramiz Raja and just realizing, yaar, main jo cricket dekhta hu na, it's completely different to the cricket that Ramiz Raja watches. That's it.
Can I just say that Hassan Ali did sort of prove Ramiz Raja right, as in he couldn't play the short ball. So Yeah, I understand that Hudson at least had a few good games. It comes back to the point I made earlier that in the end he is a tail ender. He was worked out after 3 games. If he was a pinch hitter, them short balls would have been over square or over square leg. So I don't agree there. I don't agree.
All right, that's fine. A little bit of disagreement there. Where do I lie on this? I mean, I like Ramiz Bhai. He's a lovely man, I should say, having spent some time with him. And he had a great moment. I don't know if you guys, it's not my moment of the match, but I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but there was a phase just in the second half of the South African batting innings. And by the way, the South African commentating on this series has been below par. I'm just going to say I wasn't thrilled about some of the comments. There was a lot of one-sidedness going on generally. So there was a point where he was on commentary, I think with Pommy, I'm not sure who he was with, where he suggested that Pakistan could, with something like 111 for 4 wickets, I think at that point, South Africa. And he suggested Pakistan, if they bowled well, could restrict South Africa to 140. Or they could go through them here, which proved to be correct. But at the time, the other commentator was so offended. He was like, how can you say that we don't think they're going to get to 180, 190 even? This player's to come, that player's to come, 6 overs to go, Super Sport Park. Are you like, he was really angry. And then the next ball, a wicket fell. And Ramiz let him have it. Ramiz went for him. He's like, well done, Pommy. Your wicket, buddy. You got that wicket. Well done. Why don't you do every game for Pakistan? I was like the way he trolled him on air, बुरी तरह से बेइज्जत किया बेचारे के साउथ अफ्रीका के commentator को, And for me, as a fan who's watched the whole series and watched Ramiz Raja try and represent the Pakistani perspective, I was really happy to see that moment. But it wasn't my moment of the match. That's just a little runoff from what Arman and Arif were talking about, right? My moment of the match was something that Anam alluded to earlier. It was Fahim Ashraf to Janiman Malan, and Malan went for that cover drive, and Fakhar Zaman got his hands behind it and took the catch, right? That changed everything. Had that gone either side of Fakhar Zaman, it was going to be 4. We'd be talking about a completely different game right now. And Janiman Malan, I think the way he was batting, he was on his way to like 80, 90, maybe even 100. He was looking so good. But he wasn't. Fakhar got the catch. That was the point where the game turned for me. And obviously there was a whole bunch of topsy-turvy drama, seesaw business going on. Wo baad mein hua tha. But until then, that was the moment that changed everything for me. Right, guys, look, one way or another, Pakistan got there. Successful tour. They won the one-day international series. 2-1. They won the T20 series. 3-1. Babar's going home with a world #1 ODI ranking. We'll find out in a few days if he goes a little bit higher in the World T20 rankings. Milan is a long way ahead, it has to be said. But we'll find out a little bit more. And then in a couple of weeks, we're going to Zimbabwe. Well, we're not going to Zimbabwe, but Pakistan's going to Zimbabwe. They're going to play some Test cricket, and they're going to play some T20 cricket. Just instead of doing full squads, just tell me this. Who would you take with you? Definitely take with you. And obviously avoid the obvious people like Babar and Fakhar and whatever, right? But tell me who you would take and who you wouldn't take to Zimbabwe. Who's on that chartered flight and who's not? Let's start with Anam Nadeem. Anam, who are you definitely taking and who are you not taking?
I think उस्मान कादिर को नहीं छोड़ के जा सकते कहीं भी. उस्मान कादिर को आज भी खेलना चाहिए था. Again, मुझे नहीं पता इसके पीछे थॉट प्रोसेस क्या है. और कहीं ना कहीं अच्छा आज ट्विटर पे मैंने ये काफी गौर से देखा है कि बाबर आजम टीम सिलेक्ट करता है, मिसबा नहीं करता. और कुछ फैन जो मिसबा हार्डकोर फैंस है वो ऑफेंड हो जाते हैं कि मिसबा का नाम मत लें अगर आसिफ अली टीम में खेल रहा है. बाबर की फाइनल कॉल होती है कि टीम में किसको होना चाहिए. तो आई जस्ट वांटेड टू से दिस आउट लाउड एज वेल कि अगर टीम सिलेक्शन के अंदर मसला आ रहा है तो वो बाबर का कसूर है, मिसबा का नहीं है. बट इट्स मोर ऑफ वो वाली चीज है ना कि मिसबा भी तो टीम का ही हिस्सा है, मैनेजमेंट का हिस्सा है. तो मिसबा पॉइंट आउट तो कर सकते हैं ना कि यार इस बंदे को नहीं खिलाओ या इसको खिलाओ. तो उस पर आई डोंट नो, उस पर हमें एक सेपरेट शो करना चाहिए कि ये क्या सीन है, टीम सिलेक्शन जो है वो क्यों ठीक नहीं हो पाती है. So yeah, I'm not taking Asif Ali with me, and I'll definitely take Usman Qadir on that chartered flight to Zimbabwe.
Tell me one more thing, Anam. Would you take Haider Ali? Because you were a big fan of Haider Ali at the start of the series. You're a big advocate for him. On the basis of what you've seen, would you still take him?
I'd give him another go. If it was for me, I'd still give him another go. He's young. He's like really young. अभी career शुरू हुआ, international career शुरू हुआ. Hype थी बहुत ज़्यादा, talent भी बहुत ज़्यादा है. लेकिन वही अरमान की बात, डायरेक्शन मिसिंग है. मतलब उसको कोई क्यों नहीं बता रहा कि यार तुमने कैसे खेलना है. जाके ठीक है अग्रेसिव खेलने में कोई बुराई नहीं है, लेकिन उसका तरीका आउट होने का सारे मैचेस में एक जैसा ही रहा है. So वो थोड़ा सा अजीब भी है देखने की पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, और थोड़ा गुस्सा भी आता है, फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग भी है कि यार हैदर अली में जितनी पोटेंशियल है वो ही इज नॉट बीइंग एबल टू लाइक लिव अप टू द लेबल जो हमने उसको दिया ना कि यार द नेक्स्ट बिग थिंग या जो भी आप कह लो. So he's not like proving us right at the moment, and I think Zimbabwe against it will be a good test for him as well. कि चलो Zimbabwe against, just like prove yourself. International team hai, you can like turn things around for yourself. So I will take him with me.
Okay, well, I've got a different perspective, which I'll share in a minute. But let's go to Arman first. Arman, who are you definitely taking, and who are you not taking?
Well, we can't take Zahid Mahmood, unfortunately, so he can't go. No, I mean, I'll take Asif Ali. I'm the opposite. I'm sorry. I'll take Asif Ali, but I won't take Haider Ali. And the reason for that is that Haider Ali, for me, is a top 3 batsman for Pakistan. He's a good batsman, and he's being asked to do a role at 5, and I just don't think he's suited for it, in my personal opinion. I know he can hit. We've seen him hit in domestic cricket as well. But I think that when we have room in the top 3, which is too congested at the moment, I think he needs time to get his innings in and get his eye in, and then he'll go. With Asif Ali, the thing is, he's a 6 hitter. We know that from PSL. I don't really care what his average is. I don't care how many times he fails. It's all about his strike rate for me. So we're going to need that at a time. I mean, we've been okay in this series because we've won most games reasonably well. I mean, with the exception of today when we have won. So I'm not too nervous about him not getting runs, because ultimately he's always going to be somebody that, for me, at 6, shouldn't bat more than 7 to 10 balls at any game anyways, unless things are going really bad in our top order. So I take Asif Ali. The reason I don't take Haider Ali is because I think Sarfaraz is a stronger option for us in T20s right now. And he's in the squad and he's been in form as well. And the fact is that we've seen him play already in the ODI. I think, was it the ODIs that he played? And I think it was the ODIs. So for me right now, I think for 5, Sarfaraz might be better suited with the experience and the leadership that he has, because I'm a bit nervous about Baba's leadership as well. So Sarfaraz, that makes me feel like maybe the unit is a little bit stronger. So yeah, that's kind of what I would do there on the batting side. And on the bowling side, I'd take everybody. I think all the bowlers are fine. They just need a little bit more confidence, a bit more experience, a bit more guidance. And South Africa is kind of a funny place to bowl. Like sometimes you get hit, and sometimes you bowl really, really well because of the wickets and the nature of the sort of wickets there and the cricket that's played there. So I don't really feel like our bowlers are weak. So I would take all of them.
Interesting. Just tell me one more thing, Arman. I know you're a big advocate of Sharjeel playing, and he only got the one game in this series, but would you take him?
100%. So for the way I'm seeing my batting order, because I said Heather's not playing, Sharjeel, Fakhar open, Babar Rizwan, and then we've got so that's 4, and then we've got Sarfaraz at 5, and then 6 we've got Asif Ali. So 100%. I mean, it has to be. For me, it's like Sharjeel and Fakhar have to open for us. And look, I know Babar played the fantastic innings, but realistically, we were chasing 200 plus, 220, whatever it was, in the last game. You had to bat at 10 and over. And once you get going on a flat wicket, I'm not taking anything away from the greatest innings I've ever seen a Pakistani play chasing. It was amazing. But again, today we saw a strike rate of 100. 2 games ago, we saw a strike rate of 100. We will lose if he bats on a strike rate of 100. We don't need an anchor at the top. We need somebody that can bat at 150, 170. That's my strategy. That's why I would take Sharjeel and Fakhar.
Cool. And I just wanted to clarify on the Sharjeel thing. Arif, you tell me first who you're taking, who you're not taking, and I'll tell you mine. And I think mine will surprise you all.
So for me, my sort of picks have already been gone through, but I'm going to go through them anyway. So Usman Qadir, for me, I think he should definitely been playing today. For me, he's a starter in the upcoming T20 series, and I think it's the end of the road for Asif Ali. Haider Ali only because he's a lot younger. That we can build a future around him, even if he's not in the playing 11. It's good to have him in the squad type of thing. That's why I would pick him over Asif Ali. I think Sarfaraz Ahmed needs to be included in the playing 11. I think his experience and his, for example, when Asif Ali and Haider Ali were in today, and we mentioned before that it was only the singles and doubles that we needed, Sarfaraz Ahmed was the perfect player at that stage. So I think Sarfaraz Ahmed being in the squad, we might as well utilize him. And I think, not talking about the T20s, but there's one player that I really want to see in the test, once the test start against Zimbabwe, is Shahnawaz Dani. I think they might have missed a trick not including him in the T20 series as well. So for me, someone to really look forward to in the upcoming Test series. The T20s, yes, they're going to be good fun, but for me, that real test is going to be in that Test series against Zimbabwe.
See, Arif, like Yasser Arafat would be really annoyed with you there, because what you've done is you've taken a T20 performance and said that somebody should play Test cricket on the back of it, and that really upsets Yasser Arafat. But anyway, I'll back you on that. It's fine. I'd like to see more of Dani. I'd like to see him play T20 cricket before I saw him play Test cricket. But it's fine. We've seen a lot of the bowlers that we've seen so far. I think it's a good chance to freshen things up. Let's let Dani have a go. Let's let Mohammad Waseem have a go. They're both there. They've been with the team. Let's get them playing some cricket. And I just want to come off something that, Anam was taking Heather, but not Asif. Arman was taking Asif, but not Heather. I'm not taking either of them. This is the truth. I'm not taking either of them. I've got too many options in my T20 batting lineup that I can start messing around with these two, okay? Don't forget, they might be out of touch, but they had a really good, if you go back to the National Bank T20 before the IPL, before these series in between with New Zealand and South Africa, like there was the National Bank T20, and so many players impressed, including Abdullah Shafiq. Why do I not get to see my Abdullah Shafiq? Plays at over 130 strike rate, gets you centuries in 20 over cricket. He was one of the top scorers in National Bank. I want to see Abdullah Shafiq. I want to see Khush Shah back in the lineup. I'm sorry, but if you can give this many chances to Heather and Asif, why can't we have a look at Khush Shah again, who again impressed in the local tournament? You talk about six hitters. He hits more sixes than anybody. He hit 25 sixes in the National T20, which is more than anybody. Only Sohaib Maqsood came close. By the way, Sohaib Maqsood, another player I would also like to see in the mix. This is a good chance to experiment for Pakistan. They've still got some time ahead of the World Cup. They've still got the PSL to come as well. If they want to give some players international experience, get them into confidence, these are the players to play. Babar is good. What value are you going to get from playing Babar in Zimbabwe? You already know he's great and he's going to start for you and he's going to open. Like, I know Arman would like to see Sharjeel and Fakhar. It's just not going to happen because Babar has chosen where he wants to bat and he picks his team, as Anam pointed out. He's always going to be at the top. Like, that's something that just won't change. We got to learn to live with it, I guess. But I want to see power hitters around him. And I think Khushdil is definitely there for me. Abdullah Shafiq is definitely there for me. Sohaib Maqsood is definitely there for me. And Sarfraz, by the way, is definitely there for me. Because as you very rightly and very astutely pointed out, he would have been the perfect player in today's scenario to guide Pakistan home. He's got the experience, he's got the tact, he's got the nous, he's got all the stroke play, the calm head. He would have done everything. It's obviously like, hindsight is 2020, but he would have done, you'd imagine, everything to take Pakistan home. Listen, we've been going on for long enough. It's been fun, a good chat, a good series. Pakistan have learned a few things. Any closing remarks? I'm going to give you all a chance to say some closing remarks. Anam Nadeem, you go first. Which overall thoughts, ऐसे कोई चीज?
मुझे लगता है कि हम लोगों को थोड़ा और कन्विंसिंगली इस सीरीज में परफॉर्म करने की जरूरत थी, स्पेशली आज वाला मैच जो है. ये एंटरटेनमेंट फैक्टर तो ठीक है, ऑल फन एंड गेम्स, ट्विटर पे एंजॉय कर लेते हैं, बट कंसिडरिंग कि पिछले मैच में हमने कैसे जीता, 200 का टारगेट चेज कर लिया, और आज वाला मैच सब फैंस को पता था ये वाला टारगेट ज्यादा डाइसी है, ये वाला टारगेट ज्यादा जो है वो डॉजी है, 200 वाला तो चलो देखा जाएगा. सो आई थिंक वहां पे हम लोगों को काम करने की जरूरत है कि यार जीत तो रहे हैं, अच्छी बात है, जीत होती है, लेकिन वी नीड टू बिल्ड द हैबिट ऑफ विनिंग कन्विंसिंगली ओवर टाइम. क्या ये वाली सीरीज चलेगी आगे, और अगर ये सीरीज वो वाली है जिनको हमें कन्विंसिंगली जीतने की जरूरत है. सो दैट इज माय लाइक whole thought process on this, and I think management को भी थोड़ा सा they need a wake up call as well. And data analyst, you pointed out कि हमें data analyst की जरूरत है. हाँ, टीम में एक hardcore proper data analyst missing है, and I think it's high time हम एक proper data analyst में invest करें.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, and all of that, absolutely. They've got to keep up. Like in modern cricket, there's no excuse. You've got to have a data analyst just pointing out all of these things. The closest thing we ever had was Azhar Mahmood, and it's not his job. He was the coach, but he was still, like putting together data and charts and all sorts of things. It was incredible. Inshallah, we'll get him on the show at some point. Arman, some closing thoughts. The series is done. It's all played out. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm going to give you this little conversation I had. You mentioned on the show before, sometimes I can't do the show when you do it on the weekends because I run my own cricket team and we play on the weekends. Ultimate Warriors, shout out to them. So I was having a conversation with our premier batsman in that team. It's not me, it's somebody else. And we were having this WhatsApp exchange and we were just doing our batting order. And I was like, listen, bhai, I need you to bat at 6 and 7, which is not a fun conversation to have because he's our best batsman, and has an average of like over 70 or 80 for us. And then he replied saying, "You're right, but the best chance for me to score 90 and 100 is if I bat and get more balls at 3," which was completely valid. And my reply to him was, "I totally agree with you, bhai, but I don't need you to score 90 and 100. What I need you for is the match-winning innings of 30, 35, batting at 7 and 8 to take the game because you're our most responsible and our best batsman." And the reason I'm highlighting that is I believe winning is the most important thing. And Anam just said winning and the culture of winning is the most important thing. I was not on the show last time. I was on the show the time before where Babar had scored 50 or 50 balls and was under a lot of criticism, including from myself, batting at that slow strike rate. Since I've been away, he scored at a phenomenal strike rate when we were chasing 200. He's become world number one in ODIs, overtaking Virat Kohli. And the Babar frenzy has gone sort of crazy, and it's like, wow, Babar this, and he can't do no wrong, and all the critics have been proved wrong. But today I've come back and I've seen him score again at a slow strike rate as opening batsman for Pakistan. So for me, as I leave this series, I love Babar. Babar is a blessing. He's the best batsman, most naturally talented batsman I've ever seen. But him opening the batting, if he continues to play like he does, with the exception of the innings he played under pressure where he had no choice but to score at a high strike rate, in my opinion, is the biggest reason why Pakistan will fail to win. Today, if Babar was batting at 4 or 5 for Pakistan, there's no way I believe that Pakistan would have been in the situation they found themselves in. So whether you bring in Khushdil Shah, whether you bring in Hussain Talat, whether you bring in Shoaib Maksud, we're 4 or 5 months away. We should know our team by now. And we don't. And that's worrying for me because we have the most talented T20 team probably of this generation. All we need to do is play the right people in their positions and stop as Pakistani fans or as media trying to make Babar out to be the best things in sliced bread. What's it going to be worth if we go to India and don't make the semi-finals? It will be worth nothing. So as much as I love Babar, I'm sorry to say, and I think he's the greatest batsman we've had, but I love my Pakistan. And I can't see Pakistan underachieve again and again and again. We've now got this opportunity. So my closing remarks, sorry I went on a bit, but it's just that I want Pakistan to achieve their full potential. And I don't care about Babar's hundreds and his records and his world rankings. All I care about is Pakistan winning. And for me, Babar shouldn't be opening if he's going to bat at a strike rate of under 130 and 150. That's my opinion.
No, that's a very valid opinion. I think a lot of people will agree with you there. I think what happens in reality is, anybody's guess if that's actually implemented. I think for the time being, this is the scenario that I don't mean to say we're stuck with, but this is the scenario that Pakistan's facing. That 100 that happened in the third game has kind of ensured that that's pretty much the way it's going to go. Arif, some closing remarks, mate. What did you make of the series? Taking the positives or taking the negatives? What are you feeling right now?
I think a closing remark on today's game first is it doesn't feel like a win. I'm still disappointed. It feels like we've actually lost today's game. And regarding what Anam said before, I've been saying along these episodes that look, we should be battering this side, this South African side, and for us to only, even in the one days and the T20s, we've not really sort of taken it by the neck and really finished the games off. And I think looking back at the score, the T20s, we've won 3-1, right? But a 3-1 with a bit of experimentation, I would have expected. But to pick your best 11 in each game, right, and lose one with a team that's not going to, they're not going to be any other world team. A 3-1 I would have accepted if we were messing with the lineup, we were trying things, the World Cup's coming up, etc. I would have accepted it. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed in the whole series. I don't think the Pakistan team or management have got the most out of this series. It's basically they've gone in, and even with Misbah's tweet of the only team to win twice from Asia in South Africa, who cares? If you had checked some players out, if you'd given players a chance, that's more important. You were always going to win this series. That's my thinking anyway. And regarding your comments about Khushdil Shah and a few other players, the ones that you mentioned, yeah, they hit the sixes the most, but they don't when they play for Pakistan. And I think a lot of them have had their chances, so that's my opinion on that. And looking forward to the Zimbabwe series. Again, all I'm going to say is I think I'm looking more forward to the Test series than I am to the T20 series, because the T20, the same thing's going to happen. Arman's right. They're not going to experiment. They're going to play their best 11. They're going to thrash them. Whereas the Test side, they don't actually know their best 11, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'd tell you what, I'd love to see Mohamed Abbas back for that test side, especially after his performance for Hampshire today against Middlesex. Ugh, Middlesex is my team, but Mohamed Abbas is my player. You know what I mean? What a performance. 6 wickets. 5 of his first wickets came in 17 deliveries, and it included a hat-trick. If you haven't seen it already, get on Twitter, YouTube, wherever you can. It's a great spell of fast bowling. Highly recommended. Thank you to all of the guests today, all of the contributors. I can't call you guests, your panelists, your contributors, Anam Nadeem, Arman Kirmani, Arif Asif, me, Atif Nawaz. It's been an absolute pleasure to do post-match chat for this South Africa-Pakistan series. Our coverage of the IPL will continue. Loads of new faces and new contributors. There's been a new person on every single IPL show so far. I'm going to see how long we can keep that going. So thank you again for your support. If you like our channel, please subscribe. Drop in the comments below what you made of this series today. Did you think Pakistan did well? Did you think they didn't learn anything? Did you think they learned something? If so, what did they learn? Comment below. And yeah, if you could just follow us on our social media, that's always massively appreciated. But again, from all of us here, Pakistan have won the series 3-1. So take that for what it's worth. Celebrate if you can. Happy Ramzan, happy Vaisakhi, all the things that are happening. Just be happy, and we'll be back very, very soon. Goodbye.